What is up, YouTube? I'm Christian. Today we are going to be watching Andrew Tate give his opinions on real estate. I've heard a couple of them. I'm going to try and look for some clips I haven't seen. I don't agree with him on a lot of it. However, I see his point of view. So how about we just jump in and hear what he has to say, and then we'll go from there.
The pessimism you have and the deep hatred towards the system. I understand it.
Yeah.
You said something really funny actually a few years ago. You said to me, when you had nothing and you were living in America, they couldn't help you. But as soon as you left, the IRS knew how to get hold of you.
Oh yeah,
they
sure.
knew how to call you.
Oh yeah. They know how to find you.
That's definitely true. The IRS, if they want their money, they'll find you.
Yes, when you owe them money.
Yeah.
But it's never, like if they owe you money, it takes months and months and months to turn up, if ever, right?
Yeah.
But if you owe them money, it's a woohoo, you better pay us. The whole thing's a scam. It's like the entire financial system, which we can discuss at length. Our entire financial system is designed to steal wealth from the poor and just turn it into numbers on the screen of the rich.
Destruction by design.
Yeah, the whole thing is corrupt. And when you understand the system, you understand that the system is rigged to a point where most people do not stand a chance to ever win.
So let's talk about this. In what way is it rigged?
It's rigged because, we can go down the economic.
So we're in some macro stuff right now. He's talking about just kind of macroeconomic, political climate. Haven't gotten into real estate yet. We'll see if he does. I mean, the video's called Andrew Tate on getting rid of all your real estate, so I'm sure he'll get to it.
Of it all.
Yeah.
But my very basic premise of it is that there's a whole bunch of people out here who are effectively slaves. And when you're a slave if you have a job in any form, effectively. Some slaves are better paid than others.
Slaves don't get paid. I mean, he's framing. I mean, slaves don't get paid. So I mean, if you work and you get paid, are you a slave? It doesn't make you just a worker. If you were working for someone and you weren't getting paid, then you're a slave. So definitions are important here, but let's continue.
But most people are slaves. In the days of slavery, what would happen is the slave masters would use control and aggression and influence to convince you to do work for free. So what they could do is they could get work out of you with something that they can generate from the sky, right? They can be aggressive from the sky, influence from the sky, a couple bullets are cheap, whatever it took, and they could get your labor. Now we have the exact same thing, but they just use fiat. They use fiat money. If the people in charge of the world can print unlimited amounts of said thing, and you'll give up your life for certain amounts of said thing, then they own you.
That's an interesting point, actually. Hadn't thought about it that way. I will say, I mean, money does have value still. And, I mean, you can trade money for actual things. So even though they can make as much as they want for themselves, I mean, it's hard to agree with it. I get where he's going, because he's saying that money, basically, if you can print as much as you want, then it has no value, right? So whoever controls the printer essentially controls you. But I mean, if you work hard and you save up money, which it does have value, even though he's claiming that it doesn't, you save up, you invest it in something, and you grow the money. And then you have that value and reinvest it in something even bigger and bigger, and you grow into something really large. So money does have value in that sense. So yeah, I think he's speaking in an extreme, I guess. Like, he's looking at how they can print money, and I just noticed her dress is blocked out, is blurred out. Yeah, I guess he's saying that they can print money, so therefore money has zero value. That's not necessarily true, because it does have value. It's tied to petroleum and the GDP and stuff like that. But so he's going to an extreme. I kind of agree with him, but not totally.
They control you. Oh, you need $100 to do this. Print. Off you go, slave. It doesn't matter. It's not real. So who cares? So the entire world's a slavery system to some degree. Maybe you can make enough of those dollars and buy your freedom, as I have, right? But in general...
So he just said you could buy your freedom. So if something didn't have any value, then how could you buy anything with it? So, I mean, a little bit of a contradiction there, but he's speaking in absolutes, so...
It's a slave system, and anyone who's out here who still believes, because it seems to be there are some people who still believe in, like, saving up and save my money, and if I'm really diligent, I get a mortgage, and in 28 years I might own the property. Man, it's a trap. All of it is a trap. Have you ever met a rich person, asked them how they got rich, and they said saving?
No.
No, this is the biggest.
Sleeping floors. I work.
Well, to an extent, you do need to save, right? I mean, if you're working at a job, you're making like 70K a year or something. The American average is like 50 or something like that, which it should be going up because all the inflation. I think they're saying job pay is going up currently, but let's say 50. I mean, if you save, 20% of that for 3 years, you got 30K. You could put a down payment on an investment property. Fix it, go to a hard money lender or get in a part of a network where you can get private money, buy a house, you put 30K down, someone else puts 70K or 80K or whatever, buy a cheap little shitty house, something that needs a lot of work, and have someone finance buying the house and the fixing. You put down 30K, they put down 80 to 90 or whatever. The house is worth, you buy it for 90. You've got, money to spend on renovations, and then you sell it for a profit. You sell it for 150, 160, whatever. And then now you've turned your 30K into like 50K, right? Simple example, but that's something that's totally doable. And so so back to the point, saving to an extent, to a small degree is important. However, you need to do something with that money. And I get what he's saying. If you just hold cash right now with how crazy inflation is, I think they just said 8.5% this month, as same as it was last month, which is insane. If you're just holding your money, you're actually losing money. Like it's becoming less and less valuable. Your purchasing power is getting smaller. So definitely invest your money, but you do need to save some of it first, right? How can you invest your money if you don't save some up, right? So, but yeah, I get what he's saying.
God, I sleep so many floors.
And I saved it.
And I didn't have that morning coffee, you know?
Oh, complete lie. And everything they teach you about financial literacy is a lie. Everything they teach you about wealth creation is a lie. Everything they teach you about what you're supposed to do with your money and how you're supposed to think is a lie. They get your ass in debt at the very, very beginning.
So how did you realize all this? How did you realize all this?
God has his favorites.
Okay. That's Tate being, his arrogant self. Okay, so he didn't talk much about real estate in this one. I'm going to find another video and we'll see if, that one could be more real estate based, and so I can dig into it a little more. All right, found another clip on and real estate. Let's see how it goes. So Andrew Tate on real estate, parentheses, controversial. Is it a good investment? Let's dive right in.
You had a good question here. Paul, what do you think about investing in property? Property is fine, but property is slow, it's cumbersome, and you need lots of money to start. You can't start in property without lots of money, unless you take a loan out. Then you need to get a loan from the bank, then you owe interest. And then you have to buy a house, takes 6 months, and then you have to wait for that house value to go up, and then you have to sell that house. That takes another 6 months to find a buyer. Then you have...
Okay, he just said a lot here. You do need some money to invest in a house. However, you don't always have to go through a bank. You can go through a traditional lender or a lending institution. And you would just need a down payment, so you would still have to save up and have a bit of money in order to do it. As to his point on it takes 6 months to buy a house, that is inaccurate. When I market to sellers, I tell them, hey, I can close in 21 days. And that's very true. I can close in 21 days. That's very rushed. However, typically it takes about 30 days to close. So, and I believe, did he say
taxes and...
Yeah, he said...
and stamp duties and fees. It's very...
Yeah, selling a house as well does not take 6 months either. I've never had it take 6 months. I don't think it's taken 6 months since like 2008. In fact, last year, I think the average days on market was like a week or something crazy like that. Like, it was insane. So he's definitely wrong in that aspect. Let's go back a bit to hear some of those
6 months
points.
to find a buyer. Then you have taxes and value to go up, and then you have to sell that house. That takes another 6 months to find a buyer. Then you have...
He said you have to wait for the value to go up. That's not true. There is a strategy of buying and holding like land or a property and having it appreciate if you know the area, the demand for the area is going to go up. But you don't, in most investments, you don't really wait for the value to go up. But you might, in some areas, you might.
Taxes and stamp duties and fees.
Everything costs taxes. I mean, no matter what your business is. I think he's got like a business called Hustlers University, where like students pay him like a monthly fee. He's paying taxes on that. Like he said in the last clip, the IRS will find you if you owe taxes. So I don't know why he's bringing up taxes. That's a universal. So kind of weird. And there's ways to avoid taxes in real estate as well that I doubt he's using. You can do a 1031 exchange where you can basically sell your property. Let's say you sell your property for $100,000. Well, instead of taking the capital gains tax on that property, you actually have a time period. I believe it's like 90 days or maybe 6 months, something like that, to roll that money into a new property, and they won't tax you. So there's other ways of avoiding taxes, more advanced ways, and so like depreciation and things like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's honestly kind of weird that he doesn't even know that, because I'm sure he's probably paying more taxes on his Hustlers University thing than most expert real estate investors are paying on real estate. So I find that kind of funny.
It's very, very difficult. I own this house because I want to live in it. But besides that, I don't own property. I don't like owning property. I think it's a pain in the ass. I think it's a headache. I don't like owning property. It's slow. It's cumbersome. I like fast, quick, easy money. If I want to...
So owning property can be a pain in the butt. I've had multiple buy and hold properties before, and it can be a pain in the butt. You've got tenants calling you with problems and things of that nature, and you know, I own them from far away. I mean, I used to own some in Florida. I'm in Texas, and yeah, it gets to be annoying. You've got to have good connections. You've got to have a guy, you know, you've got to have like your handymans over there. You got to have your cleaning people. You got to have a good real estate agent. But if you build relationships, you can do it far away. But it is a pain in the butt. I mean, you know, some people pay property management companies for a reason, right? Because then you're basically outsourcing that whole management. And then, but that's another thing. It's a pain in the butt unless you want to pay to remove yourself from the equation, right? So it doesn't have to be a pain in the butt. So, you know, that's kind of one of the cool things about real estate is that it's versatile in that nature. If you don't mind managing things and maybe for your budget it doesn't work for you to pay for a property manager, then by all means you can do it yourself. If not, then you can pay someone to do it, right? So that's kind of one of the cool things.
Move to Tokyo tomorrow, I want to still be able to make some... I like fast, quick, easy money. If I want to move to Tokyo tomorrow, I want to still be able to make money. I don't want to be worried about some house somewhere. I have to try and sell this house, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, this is definitely a hot take on his part. It doesn't seem very well thought through. I mean, you know, first of all, if I want to move to Tokyo, I still want to be able to make money. I mean, this guy travels the world anyway, so why does it matter where he moves to? That's kind of weird. But you can do, like I said earlier, you can do real estate investing from a distance. I know plenty of people who do it. I've done it myself. There's books on how to do it, on how to build relationships and set up systems where you can invest from far away fairly easily. So definitely don't agree with that take either. Pretty much like most of his takes are kind of, you know, questionable in the real estate realm. I actually agree with him on some other things. He's got some good takes, typically on hard work and you know, getting your money right and you know, treating yourself with respect, things like that. I actually agree with him on a lot of things. And then some other things I don't. So, but that's, you know, that's everything, right? No one agrees with someone 100%, right?
It's a pain in the ass. So property is a good way to make money, but it's an outdated method. I think a lot of people got rich off property a long time ago. You can still do it, but it's not easy. It's a headache.
It's not easy. Well, getting wealthy is never going to be easy, right? That's funny. I just commended his promotion of hard work, and then he's just talking about how it's not easy. So that's funny. But he typically does talk about working hard, but whatever. We'll ignore that for now. So it's not easy. Yeah, nothing is easy. Making money in anything isn't easy. I mean, you know, he's got his Hustlers University. I mean, building that out couldn't have been easy, right? You have to hire teachers. You've got to set up an interface. You got to buy the domain. You got to make sure your accounting and taxes are in order. You got to, you know, there's all kinds of things, and that's just the things that come off the top of my head. I can't even imagine how many other minute things you've got to deal with on a day-to-day. Updating the courses, improving it, managing your reviews, you know, things like that. So, you know, there's no way that's easy. And on top of that, what he's doing now, he like travels around doing podcasts to market his classes, right? So, I mean, that's not easy either. I mean, I guess he flies on private jets, so I guess it's kind of fun. But I'm sure that maybe that gets old a little bit. Just, I mean, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's no way that's that easy either. So nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. I mean, you're going to have to work hard no matter what. And the quicker, you know, people realize that and stop trying to think it, you know, hope that everything will be easy, the quicker they'll make money. So let's continue.
A long time ago. You can still do it, But it's not easy.
Well, also, it's not outdated. Real estate isn't outdated. Plenty of very wealthy people still invest in real estate. There's, BlackRock, one of the biggest like investment firms in the world, is like buying up all of the real estate right now. So how could it be a bad investment or an outdated investment if one of the biggest financial firms is just spending tons of money on it? So yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, most of the richest people in the world own various pieces of real estate. So I don't agree with the outdated point at all.
It's a headache. Can you teach real estate development? Buy a house, do it up, sell it. Lesson over. What?
I mean, he's not wrong. That is the general premise. It's much more nuanced and complicated than that. But he says, buy a house, do it up. Okay, first of all, buying a house, okay. You have to buy it at a discount. You have to buy it at a good price, right? You can't just buy a house like on market typically, fix it up and then sell it. You're going to make almost nothing. It's not even worth your time. So I don't necessarily agree with that. But yeah, buy a house, do it up. Also more complicated, like he just said before. You know what I mean? He just said, oh, you want to be, working hard or whatever, trying to work on a house. Like, no, I mean, it takes a good contractor to be able to organize things, and you've got to also manage your contractor, and then, you got to be able to communicate what the house needs to be like. So fixing it up, depending on how much work it needs. I mean, if I told Tate, like, hey, this house needs a new foundation, new roof, completely new interior, new siding and everything, like, he wouldn't know how to do that. He would have to hire someone, right? So, but that is part of it, buy a house, fix it. This is flipping only. So there's plenty of other real estate methods, buying and holding, Airbnb, all kinds of stuff you can do, that isn't just flipping, but yeah, he simplified it to its most distilled form, I guess.
Why would you want to do that? That's a bunch of work. That's bullshit. There's easier ways to make money, man.
There's nothing wrong with hard work. I don't get his point on that. It's a bunch of work. I mean, like I just said, you would have a contractor doing most of it. You'd be your primary role would be looking for good real estate deals, right? Because that's where you can add value. And then you would have someone else doing the contracting stuff where they can add value. Where they've got all the tools and the equipment and the manpower and the experience and, to bring way more value than you could doing it yourself anyway. So you would outsource that, and then you just keep looking for other deals and then rinse and repeat and do multiple at a time. So yeah, I think he's not thinking about scaling it. He's just thinking about the literal work of fixing a house, which I get. If that's what he's referring to, then yeah, I mean, why would you want to do that? I've tried that. I did that in college. It's a pain in the butt. I do not recommend it. I mean, you should try it if you've never done it, just so you can learn that you don't want to do it, right? So let's continue and see what else he has to finish up with here. This is a very short video.
Lesson over. Why would you want to do that? That's a bunch of work. That's bullshit. There's easier ways to make money, man. You don't want to be fucking around with that garbage. There's better things to do than be walking around with a fucking tape measure. Maybe if I can get the plasterboard cheap enough, then going home and jerk it off.
Okay. Well, he likes to finish on those very arrogant takes, or I guess the clips do. Oh, I don't want to watch this.
There is an affiliate system.
So, yeah, that's my take on Tate. Let me know what you guys think on my opinion, whether you agree, disagree, what you think on his opinion, you agree or disagree. I hope I communicated my ideas well, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you learned something today. Please leave a comment below on what your favorite part was, and subscribe if you like the channel. There will be more stuff like this coming soon in the future, so I'll talk to you guys next time.